Let's be real, guys. Let's be completely real. We all wanted to see a sequel of this episode, all because of the missed opportunity when it comes to Libby's father. We may have learned the type of character that he is after watching this episode, especially since that this screenshot alone is from the song sequence, but also Libby's imagination. But come on. We at least want to see how Libby will react to becoming a better character if she had more episodes, especially when it comes to how her mother is portrayed in this entire episode. And truthfully, this is more of a mother and daughter episode rather than a father and daughter episode, which is why I've uploaded this review on Mother's Day. Like Father Like Libby begins with Libby gains some mail and it's revealed that her father wants to see her, and this gets Libby extremely thrilled so that she can meet her father after not seeing him for 6 years, but her mother thinks otherwise. But she's willing to take Libby along in a 2 states drive. And the subplot centers around Molly taking care of Libby's turtles while she and Mom are gone. And all honestly, when it comes to the subplot itself, it does showcase the type of nature that Molly and Scratch get themselves into. I would say a lot about this, but rewatching this episode, this really feels like filler for the sake of just showcasing what Molly can do when it comes to subplots. And since that it's rare for her to do subplots in this show, I'm not expecting a lot compared to the main plots where she was the main focus. Since that she can actually contribute a lot when it comes to main plots, but when it comes to plots like this, again, it's filler, but at the same time, she's a different character when she is a side character in this episode. My throwback when it comes to watching this episode for the first time made me see that the fact that I've seen this plot done in the past when it comes to workaholic fathers or mothers instantly focusing on work and they don't have time to see their families. And truth be told, seeing how Libby is developed throughout the first season and this season, honestly, this is something that Gravity Falls didn't do, and it's the fact that Seuss's father never met Seuss whatsoever. Not even once, which leads to Seuss hating his birthday no matter what. And since it's never been indicated that Seuss ever met his father, this episode showcases that Libby did meet her father, but 6 years ago. And when it comes to how they made the reveal that Libby's father is the total opposite of Libby's mother, who she looks after, truth be told, this is basically what Seuss's reaction would have been like, but at the same time, Seuss isn't like Libby, and considering that Libby is considered so soft when it comes to her passion and family, it's really hard to take her song Me and My Dad never seriously, judging of how that she really appreciates her family. And truth be told, the song itself, while not one of my favorites, it's supposed to be wholesome in a way where you see Libby's point of view with this imagination showcasing of what she's been looking forward to. And truth be told, if we actually had some kind of a sequence of this in Gravity Falls minus the seinen, then I'm pretty sure that Seuss's character wouldn't be as wholesome, because even though that he's a funny character, wholesome doesn't really work for his character, and for characters like Libby, it does suit, judging of how that she just really wants everything that she ever wanted to do with her father. But considering that not only that her father is a workaholic, he is a neglectful father. Granted, it's one thing to not see that when it comes to him ignoring Libby, but meeting her and the fact that she doesn't even think about hanging out with Libby by doing some family bonding sums up that he's a neglectful father. And regards of how we never get to see him again afterwards, because obviously there's no season 3. If there was a season 3, having him return, but done in a way where it showcases Libby putting her foot down, is probably what people really wanted to see when it comes to the reactions of having Libby's father. You have no idea the people on Twitter, while most of them are toxic, when the people are talking about this episode, they're not really toxic. Granted, they do went overboard when it comes to Libby's father, but at the same time, for how this revelation was resolved, judging of how that there's no goodbye between Libby and her father, truth be told, it's really justified to see how people will react to Libby's father, because of how less interested he is by meeting Libby after 6 long years. And since that Libby's mother went through this when it comes to her taking care of Libby, this is more of a mother's episode, and I did say mother and daughter episode, but since that Libby's mother also carried the episode, she know if she put her foot down in front of her husband, Libby's father wouldn't even care, because of how he's so focused on his own hobbies and job, to the point that him just missing the big picture when it comes to family really showcases the possibilities when it comes to Libby and her family. And that's really the sad reality, is that we're gonna have to live in with the fact that we're never going to have an episode centering around Libby and her father if they ever cross paths again, with Libby pulling her foot down. Granted, she's not the type of character to do that, but when it comes to her father, honestly, it would probably work. And the closest signs we've seen of Libby's mother wanting nothing to do with her husband is Libby attempting to take 2 shirts that says best father-daughter team, only for her mother to put them back on the rack. And since Libby isn't really interested in the book that her father made, if she just gave the book back to him, but in the future episode, then it would have been a sign of showcasing of how much that her father will probably have self-reflection. I would probably be on board when it comes to that type of detail, and since that there were so many cut episodes and planned episodes from this show, honestly, someone probably had the idea on making another Libby episode that focuses on her father, and it's 22 minutes. Granted, I don't have the ideals when it comes to making an episode like that, but when it comes to Libby putting her foot down in front of her father, it's still up there. Guys, this is one of the reasons why rewatching these episodes and thinking about them more for how they delivered showcases the missed opportunity of what possible episodes would have been like. And truth be told, if those episodes do exist and they don't come as face value as we thought, that doesn't automatically mean that it's a bad thing that it never happened, because even if it won't be as the greatest episodes ever when it comes to the other episodes from this show, at the very least, it will showcase the fan service when it comes to these types of characters. There's always a limit when it comes to fan service, since it would lead to disaster, but at the same time, literally the only fan service is literally making an episode of Libby for 22 minutes, and centering around her father again, and in all honesty, the fact that Libby mostly never recovered when it comes to the rejection that she had from her father, is honestly storytelling in the making. It's over-exaggerating, yes, but at the same time, there was not a single person that I've seen that hated Libby, well, aside from trolls. She also made a book, which is similar to Dad making his book, and truth be told, the fact that all that Libby's father did is just take a selfie pic of it, honestly, says something that he doesn't really care about the passions that Libby does, which is similar to the passions that he does. Honestly, the more you rewatch this episode, the more you realize how despicable Libby's father is. Thus, why I considered this episode as a mother and daughter episode to celebrate Mother's Day. And truth be told, if I did review this episode on Father's Day, it would have been a terrible way to celebrate Father's Day, let's be real. This is one of the most memorable episodes in the entire series, and truth be told, you should really give this episode a chance if you're not really into the show, unlike the fanbase. And for me personally, this is an episode where you can take into consideration on the details that this show can do when it comes to focusing on side characters. Other shows have done this format, but at the same time, when there's a good episode that showcases that format way better than you think, then this episode is definitely one of them, and you will be amazed. Either heartbroken when it comes to the reveal towards the end of the episode, but still. I'm giving this episode an 8.5 out of 10.